When you think about fitness and ADHD, you may not know a whole lot because of the fact that sometimes you're just like, well, I want to exercise, but I'm not motivated to exercise, but I really don't want to. But once you know the benefits, maybe that gives you the motivation to exercise more or to start exercising. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a few facts about ADHD and fitness that could help you make that decision. So this is going to be 10 incredible facts that you need to know about fitness and ADHD. Now, before I get started, let me welcome you to the Rewired Fitness Podcast. And my name's Kevin. And now we're going to get started with number 10. Exercise releases neurotransmitters. Now, this is going to be one of the most important things that you're going to hear. And you probably heard it a lot if you are listening to this podcast. What I'm going to say is this. Exercise. When you exercise, you release dopamine, serotonin, neuropornephrine. Dopamine is the motivation neurotransmitter, is the reward neurotransmitter. So when you have a lower level of dopamine, then you're not going to be as motivated to do whatever you're trying to do. So when you have ADHD, you want more dopamine. You want things that excite you. You want things that interest you. This is also when dopamine is released. It's saying, I found something interesting. I found something exciting. Release dopamine. Exercise is the same way. Exercise actually tells your body, release more neurotransmitters. And if you're trying to raise your dopamine level, it is very important that you find ways to do this. Exercise is a great way to do this. And it's free. You don't have to have a lot of equipment a lot of times. You can just find exercise that you can do that costs nothing. So it's an easy one to incorporate into your day, into doing whatever you need to do. Just trying to find another way to incorporate some type of exercise in your day. WebMD states exercise releases neurotransmitters. When you exercise, your brain releases chemicals called neurotransmitters, including dopamine, which help attention and clear thinking. People with ADHD often have less dopamine than usual in their brain. The stimulant medicines that are often used to treat adult ADHD work by increasing availability of dopamine in the brain, so it makes sense that a workout can have many of the same effects as stimulant drugs. And so you see dopamine is all throughout that quote, right? And it says that it may have a similar effect of stimulant medication. Now, I'm just quoting that for WebMD. I'm not a doctor or anything. But I think it's very interesting that exercise can do that. Exercise has the effect to help you produce dopamine, which in turn helps you the same to a lesser effect probably than stimulant medication. Okay, so I think that's really good. I think it's a really good thing to look into exercise once you know that, once you understand that it can have a motivation effect. It can help produce dopamine for you. It can be the one that you say, hey, I'm going to exercise. I know I'm going to get some dopamine today because of the fact that I'm exercising today. So look into it. Think about what exercise you like to do. Think about what exercise you can add to your day, and then just kind of do it, right? Anyway, moving on. The next point is going to be exercise has a positive effect on neurotrophic factors. Now, if you don't know what neurotrophic factors are, I'm just going to read what WebMD has to say, and it's going to explain it to you in a very simple fashion. And what it says increased levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's a protein involved in learning and memory. It's in short supply in people with ADHD, and that is what WebMD says. So if exercise can increase that can be very good, because a lot of times we have ADHD, you have memory issues, generally working memory issues because it's short term. You can have ADHD and have a great long-term memory, but this is talking about working memory and short-term memory generally, and then learning. So that's all through every school that you go into, high school, college, graduate degrees, also anything you learn on your job or just throughout life. This can have an effect. And if you can do exercise and it increases, it has a positive effect on it and gives you better ability to learn, better ability to have memory and remember things better, then it is very important when you have ADHD. And so that is another great reason to go ahead and find some sort of exercise for you to do each and every day because of the fact that it has an effect on something else that you need an increase in. And I would just look into it again, find some sort of exercise that you like, some sort of exercise that you enjoy, just add it to your day. Moving on, the next point is going to be that exercise balances neuropornephrine. And so I'm just going to go over what a doctor had to say. And it says exercise also helps balance neuropornephrine in the brainstem's arousal center. Amelia Russo Neustadt, MD, PhD, a neuroscientist and psychiatrist at California State University. The result is that we were less prone to startle or to react out of proportion to any given situation. We also feel less irritable. So when you have ADHD, you might have the fact that you get startled easily. You might have the fact that you get irritable or you get irritated easily. And if your neuropornephrine is balanced, it helps to handle that. And exercise helps to balance it out. So this is yet another effect of something that needs balancing, that needs increasing, and exercise helps to do. So being into fitness, being into exercise has so many benefits, and I'm trying to give benefits that you may not think about until you start learning about the brain, more about ADHD, and then you see the effects and you see how many positive effects that exercise can have. The fact that it helps to balance neuropornephrine and that has an effect on these different things, I think that kind of proves that exercise in itself, fitness in itself, can be very awesome, not just to keep your body in shape, but also to help do so many things in your brain as well. The next point is going to be that exercise helps executive function. Now, it makes sense, right? If it increases dopamine, and that's your motivation neurotransmitter, and then it also increases the other things that I've gone over, which help with learning and memory. Those are things that are in executive function. Those are things that are taken care of in the executive function capacity. And so, yes, it's very easy to make the conclusion that it's going to help executive function as well. But I also want to give you a quote from ADD.org. It says the executive area of the brain, the part that controls activities that people with ADHD often find challenging, such as planning, prioritizing, breaking down tasks into manageable steps, organization, memory, mood, motivation, and follow through, is switched on during exercise. The effects last for some time after we stop moving. So that's very interesting. As you're exercising, all these things, all the things that you might be having issues with are switched on. And it's saying, hey, there is going to be these things that are going to be switched on instead of just being out there and off. You're going to have some better executive function as you're exercising. And you're probably thinking, well, why do I need that when I'm exercising? I need the executive function for other things after I exercise. Well, the interesting part is it says it continues after you exercise. So getting exercise can be very important because it's not only going to basically start all these things in executive function that you need and say, hey, improve this, improve this, improve this. But after you're done, it still has an effect. And I think if you can find something that can help with executive function when you have ADHD, this can be amazing. It can be something incredible for you because of the fact that when you have ADHD, you're trying to find ways to do all the things in executive function. You're trying to find ways to help you organize, plan, all those different things, right? And this can help. Exercise can help those things. So this is just another great reason that you should look into finding some kind of exercise, something to do. It's going to help your executive function, and I think that is awesome. Next point that I found I thought was interesting is that exercise will motivate you when it is tied to your values, something you value, something that you find important, something that has meaning to you. then you'll be more motivated to exercise because of the fact it aligns with your values. It has meaning to you. It says, hey, I'm valuable to you. You are interested in me. You really understand where I'm coming from. And it's funny to say that, but you want to pick things that you're really interested in. You want to pick things that have meaning to you. You want to pick things that have value to you. You may say, I want to accomplish a marathon. And that has value to me because I never was able to accomplish a cross-country race when I was in high school or junior high. But now I want to prove that I can do a marathon. And so I'm going to train and prove that I can do a marathon. And that is going to be something valuable to me because I have a clear goal that I want to do. And the fact that that goal is something that has a value for me back from my childhood or back from the time that I grew up. And now I'm saying, okay, that happened when I was younger, but now I have this mission to try to do this. And so now you're going to be motivated, right? Because it's going to align with your value. It's going to have meaning. It's going to have something about it that means something to you. And so you're going to be more motivated to do that because it has meaning, it has value. It has something in it that you cherish, that you need, that you want. And before I move on, I'm going to read a quote from ADD.org. And it says, any activity you choose will be more motivating if it is tied to your values. Are you passionate about preserving the environment? Then volunteer for cleanup duty. If you're committed to social causes, walk for a cure. You get the idea. If it matters to you and involves physical activity, you'll be more likely to keep at it and get the benefits of regular exercise. So again, that's just one more thing to say about it. What do you like to do? What are you passionate about? Find that and then find some way to incorporate exercise into that. The next thing is keep your mind active. And what I mean by that is have something to keep your mind active, whether it's a podcast, a music playlist, a book. Some places have TVs on back of the treadmill or bike or whatever that you're doing for cardio. They have these things to keep your mind active, to keep your thing moving. You might get hyped up having your hyped up playlist and say, yes, I'm going to get a workout, and for an hour I get to listen to my new playlist. I'm excited about that. There's some new songs. I have an hour to really just listen to it and enjoy it. And this is my peace time away from everything else. It's just peaceful. It just gets me away from all the things during the day where I'm busy. And now I have time to just relax, do a workout or do cardio, but I can listen to something that I enjoy that makes it pass the time more. If you've ever been to the gym, you see people reading a book on the treadmill. They do that because it keeps their mind active and keeps it off the process of walking on a treadmill for 60 minutes a lot of times. And so you'll see people have their favorite playlist. You'll see people listen to a podcast. You'll see people watching the TV as they walk or run on the treadmill. And so those are all things to keep your mind active, to keep your mind off that you are working out and you're working hard. But hey, I get to enjoy something while I'm working out, so it makes the time go faster. So you're going to be more motivated to work out. You're going to enjoy working out more because now you're keeping your mind active. You're keeping your mind doing something else while you're doing the exercise. And then, yes, you're getting the exercise in, but you're not noticing the time. You're not noticing how far you walk or how much you've done, or that, hey, I've been in the gym for this amount of time, or hey, I've walked this far and this has taken this amount of time. And while I've walked a far amount, if you don't think about it, you have your mind, active doing something else, then you won't notice the time. You won't notice the distance. You'll know generally, I've gone this far, I've done this and all that, whatever. And yeah, I've passed a street that I usually pass that I know is a little bit of ways away from where I live, but you just don't notice it. You just don't notice it. And so it's more motivating for you because now you're not like, hey, I'm going here. I'm going to be bored for an hour or bored for 50 minutes. When you have a playlist or a podcast or something that you can read or some way to watch TV. If gyms have TVs, you can watch a little bit of TV while you're doing something. Then that's going to be better for you because it's going to be more motivating for you, and it's going to make the time pass a lot faster where you don't really notice it. Next point is going to be exercise helps you focus. So if it does all these other things for executive function, helps you with your memory, helps you with all the other things I've gone over, then it only makes sense that exercise will have an effect on how you focus as well. And so that can be great if you have ADHD and you're trying to figure out ways that can help you focus. And then you realize that exercise is one of the ways that you can do that. Then it just makes sense to find something to do exercise related. Because if it can help you focus and you have issues focusing already because you're distracted here or there, and exercise can help you with that, then that can be amazing. On top of everything else that you're doing, everything else that you're trying to do, you just incorporate a little bit of exercise into your day, and then you may have an increase in focus. And that's an opportunity. That is definitely an opportunity to try and figure out, okay, what exercise can I do? Because I know that exercise helps me focus and I want to get into exercise in some way, somehow. Let me think what's interesting. Let me think what I wouldn't mind doing. Let me think about what I want to do and what kind of playlist would I be listening to. That may be important to some people. They may just want to find out what kind of playlist they can do with what they're doing. Because I know that I like a playlist when I'm lifting weights or whatever, and I know I like a different playlist when I run. So can be a thing. But let me read you what a study in Georgia in 2016 said about exercise and focus. It says a study tested 32 young men in elevated ADHD symptoms who cycled at a moderate intensity for 20 minutes on one day, and another day rested for 20 minutes as a control condition. The participants were asked to perform a task requiring focus both before and after the different conditions, and the researchers noted leg movement, mood, attention, and self-reported motivation to perform the task. As a result, the researchers found that after the exercise, the participants felt motivated to do the task, were less confused, fatigued, and felt more energetic. So after exercise, you're more motivated and you're more energetic. So you would think when you exercise, you would be tired. You wouldn't want to do other things. But here in this study, they found that you're actually more energetic after you exercise. And if exercise can help you focus, then that's a definite, that's a positive, that's something that you should look at if you have issues focusing. It's something that you can add to your toolbox, say, hey, you know what? Fitness, exercise does this, and this is one more thing that it does that I think is important to me. So let me find a way to figure out what kind of exercise I should do each day. The next point is going to be start off slow. You don't have to just jump all in and say, all right, first time I lifted weights, haven't lifted at all, I want to lift 400 pounds. Well, that's not wise to do that because you probably can't lift 400 pounds. So the point of it is this: start off slow. Just start off where you are. Start off where you are, then add on to it each and every day. The cool thing about exercise is this: when you start exercising, it is the perfect thing that you can break down into smaller pieces, right? Because when you exercise, you start off slow, but you are building and building and building and building. And you may not know how to do something or a certain thing. And you say, I don't know how to do that. But then a trainer will show you, or you'll learn it from somebody else and say, this is the step you need to take. This is the next step you need to take. This is the form you need to be in. This is how you stand. This is how you extend. So you're building piece by piece all these different things. And then eventually you understand how to do the exercise. But it didn't come by you just jumping in and saying, hey, I want to do this, which is the end goal. It came by you taking just the first step, and then each time stepping a little more, a little more, a little more, and then eventually you get it completely. But fitness is one of those things that is perfect for this because that is what is recommended, starting off where you are and then advancing each and every time, going a little bit further each and every time, and then getting stronger and stronger and stronger, or getting more in shape, more in shape, more in shape. So this is a very simple one. This is a good thing to realize. Start off slow, baby steps, break it down as much as you need to, because that's one of the things that I know is good for someone with ADHD is breaking things down. Just go from there. And I believe that you will accomplish whatever your fitness goals are. Okay, moving on. Make sure whatever you choose is interesting to you. Don't choose something that you don't have any interest in doing. If you don't like going to the gym, that's okay. Choose a different exercise to do. Something that you like doing. If you don't like running, that's fine. But you are interested in bike riding, do the bike ride. You want to have something that's interesting because you want to have something that you are excited to go to. That you're like, yes, I get to go for my bike ride today. Or yes, I get to go swim in the pool today. Whatever it is that you find interesting, do those. Find exercises that are interesting. Instead of ones that you hate, that you're just like, I really don't want to go do this. I kind of have to because I kind of have to get exercise in, but I'm not excited to do this exercise. So don't do that one. Find something that's interesting, that you're excited to go do, that you want to go do, that you think is a really interesting exercise to do. And then you'll be more motivated to do it. And then you'll be more excited to do it. And then you'll say, okay, I can go do this exercise. I know I'm going to get my dopamine, and it's really interesting. This exercise is really interesting. Maybe it's martial arts, right? Maybe you like to do martial arts, or maybe you like to do hiking, or whatever it is. Just find something that interests you because it's going to help motivate you to keep doing it more often. And the last point is going to be exercise suggestions, as well as how long should you exercise. And I'm going to actually read what Dr. John Rady said. Aerobic exercises such as running, biking, swimming, walking, dancing, and jumping rope work well, as do complex exercises such as martial arts that combine physical activity and skills. He also said 6 hours of exercise per week is how much you should exercise, although this can be broken down into 2 times per day for 6 days. So basically, he's saying work out almost every day and take a rest day, which is general, right? When you work out and you're doing exercise and you're lifting weights or whatever, then you can work out every day and take a rest day. Take one rest day. You just have to make sure you're working out different areas. He's basically saying it doesn't matter what kind of exercise you do something each and every day. So if you want to go for a walk every day, that's fine. Then go for the walk each and every day, basically, and take a day off. But he's saying the minimum that you want to do is going to be that 60 minutes per day for 6 days, or break it down so you still reach that time frame. And so I think that was interesting. And he said 6 hours per week. So I guess you could break it down into different days. So if you stayed in the gym, 2 hours on one day, and then you didn't do something on another day, and then stayed in the gym another 2 hours on another day, and then didn't do something on the next day, and did like that, then you could get your 6 hours in, but you may not get the benefit of it as much, because now you're not doing it on these different days. So you want to try to break it up on different days. And let me be sure to tell you, these are suggestions as far as exercises go. And these are the things that he's suggested. So you can do any type of exercise. He also said that any type of exercise that you want to do. You just want to make sure that you're getting enough exercise in to get the full benefit. Now, if you don't do the amount of exercise that he said, then, or that he recommended, then you may not get the full benefit of exercise, right? And you don't know how much benefit you're going to get from exercise anyway, because it's going to vary to each person. But as I've gone over, you can see how many benefits exercise and fitness does for you. How there are so many reasons that you should probably try to find something some kind of exercise that you can do, that you enjoy, that you're interested in, and that you can do on a daily basis or a very regular routine. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your suggestions are for different exercises that you do or that you want to do, whether you want to try or what you're interested in. All these things, leave those down in the comments. And also, just want to say this. If you like this podcast, if you like this YouTube channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button for me as well. And if you're on YouTube, ring the notification bell and leave a like and leave a comment, especially comments about anything to do with fitness and ADHD down below. All right, I hope that this information has been helpful to you. I hope that you have an awesome day, an awesome week, and I will talk to you later.